Excuse me.
What flavour was it?
It was banana and salted caramel.
I spotted that about. Whoa! Strawberry milkshake. Brilliant, isn't it?
No point.
What's the point?
No point.
There is no point.
Same here.
Walked over to me, gave me the finger,
Yeah.
went up to the co-op, got a milkshake, came back and threw it on me.
Bloody strawberry milkshake.
I even saw them throw some bricks at Tommy Robinson's crowd. Pushing, trying to get to this side, throwing bricks, throwing glass bottles at women and children. So we just got news that actually somebody got stabbed. A kid? It sounds like a child has actually been stabbed.
Escalation. Eggs, milkshakes, acid bricks, and bullets. This is the video version of this webpage, which contains much that wouldn't fit in this video. Dozens and dozens of news stories, videos, tweets, and more. Cakes, urine, and death. In March 2002, Dutch politician Pim Fortuyn had 2 cakes dumped on him.
Op naar de 0 zetels. Op naar de 0 zetels.
Geen racisme, geen stem!
I couldn't help but find this funny initially. Maybe you're the same way. But I didn't think it was so funny after reading that these cakes had urine inside. Sadly, not long after that, on May 6, 2002, he was assassinated outside of Amsterdam. It is reported that the killer is an animal rights activist, and another source said he was a vegan. So in other words, I guess you could say he was an SJW. The Guardian reports, quote, "It's a scandal that the Justice Department did not take action after the pie incident," unquote, said his lawyer, Oscar Hammerstein. Harry Menz, a close friend who talked with Fortuyn on the phone in the morning, told Dutch television Fortuyn was worried about threats made in recent days against him, unquote. Like Milo, he was openly gay and thus doesn't fit into the neat categories of the politically correct worldview where gay people have to be left-wing. Like Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad, Tommy Robinson, Milo, and so on, Fortuyn was critical of immigration and of Islam. They are all wrong thinkers. All of them are thought criminals. Milk is racist. If you have been paying attention to the culture war recently, you may have noticed that sheeple have been fooled into believing that such things as cartoon frogs, purple pigeon emojis, the OK symbol, dog walking, and even dogs themselves are racist. Also, milk! And now, cauliflower too.
White produce, white produce, white produce. White produce is so delicious. Let me tell you about this cauliflower. Mmm. Wash it down with some ice cold, 2% milk. A lot of people could benefit from cauliflower colonialism. It helps fight cancer.
Link to that guy's channel below. On December 6, 2018, the Huffington Post published this by the oh-so intellectually honest Jared Holt of Right Wing Watch, who is not at all an idiot. Headline, "The Troubling Link Between Milk and Racism." And no, it's not a joke article, folks. I do recommend this article for a good laugh. Let me break it down for you. Gullible SJWs like Jared Holt are trolled into believing that milk is racist, and then they say things like, white supremacists claim they're just trolling liberals with their milk love, but I'm not that gullible. I know that milk is racist. I'm so smart. Oh, what's that? Smiling is racist now? Alright, I believe that too. Hey everyone, smiling is racist. Wait a minute, what about hashtags? Are hashtags racist? I saw this on Gab. It appears to be from the SPLC, which is itself a joke, but if you do a reverse image search on this, you get stuff on 4chan poll, where you'll see stuff like this. Notice that the hashtag can be said to be two capital letter H's, and HH can be Heil Hitler or honk honk. Clowns, of course, are racist, as are cartoon frogs, and a cartoon frog clown is doubly racist, or racist squared. Also, when you do a reverse image search, you get this as well. This is a person commenting this image to something on Twitter by Vice, planting that seed to spread the lies that become truth if repeated often enough. Hashtags are now fashtags. Alright folks, moving on. Eggs and assault smiles. You may remember in March of this year, 2019, Egg Boy had his day. He was later released without charge. I laughed, but I didn't cheer. I mean, it's hard not to laugh at that. I mean, an egg going and splatting on someone's body is just inevitably funny. But I wouldn't encourage such an act, especially not out of hate. And especially not if it's going to escalate into something serious. Let's hope it doesn't. Remember, Egg Boy was rewarded for this behavior with a lot of money, making it likely that others will follow suit or escalate and do worse in hopes of bigger monetary rewards. So, reward the kid that did the wrong thing and call for the death of the kid who did the right thing. Or maybe even burning down his school. You can see a lot more celebrations of these acts by checking out hashtag Eggboy and hashtag Milkshake. Milkshakes and more eggs. May 1st, 2019. In Bury, in the UK, on the campaign trail, someone throws a milkshake at candidate Tommy Robinson.
Whoa! 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 No bets! No bets!
Get in!
See these reports also in the webpage version of this video by The Independent, Foam, Metro, and The Telegraph. May 2nd, 2019. Another milkshake was thrown at Tommy Robinson.
Jumping around like you were going to do something. You didn't do shit. The only person you pushed was a woman. No, you was, but we'll show you the footage later. So you come here very aggressively, you got over. Tommy, do it, go on. That's what you get for being a fascist!
See these reports by the BBC, The Guardian, The Independent, The Evening Standard, Spectator, Sky News, Breitbart, and the Daily Mail. Rupert Myers, who apparently writes for The Telegraph, Guardian, Times, Spectator, etc., tweeted this with over 13,000 likes. Watching this guy tip a mixed shake over Tommy Robinson is probably the most satisfying thing you'll see all day. According to this report, the man claimed it just slipped out of his hands. Reportedly, this milkshake thrower says he's in fear for his safety now that he, as he claims, receives death threats. May 7th. In New South Wales, Australia, someone tried to hit Prime Minister Scott Morrison with an egg, it appears.
He was walking out through the crowd, surrounded by people, when suddenly all we could see was this projectile come out his head. I'm not exactly sure whether it was thrown or
yeah, so we're just having the vision up here now.
May 10th. Carl Benjamin, also known as Sargon of Akkad, was hit with a milkshake, as reported by The Guardian, BBC Politics, BBC Radio Cornwall. and some fish were thrown at him, as reported by the foul-mouthed Anchor, which writes, during an exclusive interview with the Anchor to be released before the elections, Benjamin branded the protesters as zealots after we were interrupted by a woman throwing dead fish at him.
The Labour Party has more racists than UKIP. The Conservative Party has more racists than UKIP. So, I don't need permission to be here, do I? Excuse me. Excuse me.
May 14th. It is reported that Carl Benjamin is hit with a milkshake for the third time in 3 days. Sputnik News reports, quote, the latest attack occurred in Totnes, Devon. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The soaked parliamentary hopeful, who'd been due to address crowds with Milo Yiannopoulos, was led away by party apparatchiks as crowds jeered him. The thrower has since been arrested, although police have made no arrests in their investigation into who slashed the UKIP campaign bus tires later that day, delaying the party's next scheduled campaign stop in Exeter. Burger King makes a woke joke. May 18th. It is reported that McDonald's put a temporary halt on selling milkshakes in an area of Edinburgh, Scotland, nearby a venue where Nigel Farage was to speak. On that same day, Burger King UK tweeted, Dear people of Scotland, we're selling milkshakes all weekend. Have fun. Love BK. Hashtag just saying. More milkshakes. May 19th, Carl Benjamin gets another milkshake in Salisbury.
Fucking hey! Yes! No, it wasn't me. Gordon!
Also on this day, the Huffington Post reports Tommy Robinson's campaign van targeted with eggs and milkshakes in Bootle, Merseyside. Bricks and knives. Also on May 19th, Rebel Media uploaded this video, Muslim rioters attack Tommy Robinson voters with bottles, bricks, and Oldham, in which reporter Jessica Swiatonioski, I guess, is apparently told and repeats that a child was stabbed with a knife. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what they put in the video.
The protesters came, probably around 100 of them. They started on one side, police did block them, and they actually came around the street to another corner, all running towards the rally, throwing eggs, throwing bottles that they're finding in bins lying around in front of the houses. I even saw them throw some bricks at Tommy Robinson's crowd. And what's crazy is that I don't see any media here. I don't see anyone covering this. You're not going to see this. You're not going to hear about this. Throwing bricks, throwing glass bottles at women and children that are here for a political campaign rally. Looking around, there's women in distress. There's women crying that were chased out of their cars. So we just got news that actually somebody got stabbed. I don't have much information. I don't know what side escalated the situation, but I am walking towards the crowd.
Step back here.
A kid? It sounds like a child has actually been stabbed.
More milkshakes. May 20th. Nigel Farage is attacked with milkshake while on a walkabout in Newcastle. A bit later, ITV News tweeted this.
Complete failure. Override. I spotted that about. Sorry. Car ready? There's the big. Yeah, go point.
I think it's a right protest against people like him. The bile and the racism that he spouts out in this country is far more damaging than a bit of milkshake to his front.
What flavour was it?
It was banana and salted caramel. I was actually quite looking forward to it, to be fair.
Not long after, Count Dankula tweeted this. And folks, if you don't know, Brazzers is a porn company, and because of the white stuff, you know, use your imagination. And Count Dankula wrote on this, I know I have been railing against this for days, but good goddamn, I just couldn't help myself. See, Count Dankula, and I'm sure these gentlemen understand, he likes rude jokes, and they are jokes. After that, he added, look, I'm sorry it's hard not to find it funny. I'm just worried it won't stop at milkshakes, lol. Now let's look at this. The Independent tweeted this, their article, Nigel Farage getting hit by a milkshake isn't funny, it's absolutely hilarious. In certain contexts, yeah, it could be funny, you know, if it's a joke show or whatever, but that's not what this is about. This is out of hatred, and this is probably, I hope I'm wrong, going to escalate, and that's why it's funny, but it's kind of scary. Just so you know, in the webpage version of this video, you can see reports about this by The Guardian, The Telegraph, Boing Boing, The Independent again, The Independent yet again, The Atlantic, The Evening Standard, and The Gateway Pundit, oh, and Breitbart. Acid attacks. And then there's this charming little tweet from Ruth Townsley, and as far as I can tell, it's since been erased. Bravo to Paul Crowther. Good on you, mate. Great that milkshakes have become a thing when it comes to the racists in our midst. I prefer acid, but milkshakes will do for now, I guess. Nigel Farage hit by milkshake during Newcastle walkabout. Then you could see this was shared by Brexit Party Southeast, speaking about how this encourages acid attacks. The Sun reported that Tony Blair slammed the milkshake attack on Nigel Farage. The Independent reports that Carl Benjamin is doused with a milkshake for the 4th time. May 21st. Sorry, I forgot to put out this video. Milo gets milkshake in Exeter.
Come on, it'll be fun. Come on. Sorry? Same here. Oh.
One writer at the New Statesman America declares, no, throwing milkshakes at someone is not an act of political violence, and another disagrees with that with, we shouldn't cheer the milkshaking of right-wingers, here's why. The New Republic wants to tell us why milkshaking works, while the New York Times asks why are milkshakes being thrown at right-wing politicians like Nigel Farage. Also, throwing milkshakes as a political statement makes us splash in Britain, pun CBS News. The Telegraph reports on May 20th, Nigel Farage milkshake, man charged with common assault and criminal damage after Brexit Party walkabout. And Breitbart reported charity boss who called for acid attack on Nigel Farage fired. Alright folks, I think, I'm a little extreme on this, I think that you should even have the freedom of speech to say something like what he said, but you don't have a privilege where somebody can't fire you if they don't like what you said. More bricks. The Independent reports Tommy Robinson brick thrown at anti-Islam activists' campaign van in Preston. And the Metro reports man arrested after brick thrown at Tommy Robinson's campaign van.
Brick, screen, smashed already. We're in Preston, and now our bus screen has been bricked. We're in a housing estate.
More nonsense. May 22nd. Here are some headlines for this day. Nigel Farage trapped on Brexit Party bus as men arrive armed with milkshakes by Metro. Nigel Farage trapped on bus surrounded by protesters holding milkshakes by The Independent. Man charged with common assault and criminal damage after dousing Nigel Farage with Five Guys milkshake by News Britain.
That sounds like the title to a porno.
Rock on. It goes further. May 23rd, it is reported that an Army veteran and Brexit Party voter gets a milkshake outside of a polling station.
I make the news. I've just been milkshakes.
Oh my goodness!
I've been stood outside the polling station. I got milkshake. You know, mid-20s. He came across from that street there, walked over to me, gave me the finger, went up to the co-op, got a milkshake, came back in and threw it on me.
Flipping hell. Is that the MP had that done the other day?
Remember, folks, milk is racist. Remember, we covered that earlier. Now, think of how loose the definition of the terms, far right, racist, Nazi must be for people, even stupid and or intellectually dishonest people, to rationalize that Nigel Farage, Tommy Robinson, Carl Benjamin, and so on are far-right Nazis or racists. Okay? They have to have a very elastic and inconsistent, twisted definition. Now, it is fair to apply their own standards, or lack thereof, to them. Now, by their standards, since milk is racist, and using racist symbols symbolically is itself racist, then these milkshakers and their supporters are racist. By the way, folks, thinking like that, just kind of following along with their own standards or lack thereof like a regressive leftist, does make you feel pretty stupid and irrational, doesn't it? Kinda hurts. But let's hope that these eggs and milkshakes are not dark foreshadowings of serious violence in the way that those cakes were foreshadowing the death of Pim Fortuyn. Anyway, folks, what do you think? Please comment and like, and subscribe to our BitChute channel because our days on YouTube are numbered. Thank you very much, folks. Till next time, love, life, light, liberty, and leaping laughter. See you next time.